The future is not female. Hey feminists, it's Prince of Queens, and it appears that because of your support, Hillary Clinton is delusional enough to believe that it's a good idea to run for president again in the year 2020. I know most of you don't even particularly like her anyway, and the ones who thought they did have a political understanding no deeper than their own vaginas or manginas. But can't you see by now that all of this estrogen-tinted propaganda you've been thoughtlessly lapping up is enabling a psychotic megalomaniacal demagogue? Not Trump, idiots, Clinton Incorporated and their puppet. If she really does run again in 2020, assuming she even lives that long, this will be the third time this wretched woman has lost the presidential election. Sorry? It'll be the fourth time she's lost the election if you include the recounts. I don't know what she is thinking. Sorry, what am I saying? I know exactly what she is thinking. She saw your pink pussy hats and began believing her own lies in terms of the notion that more people in our nation wanted her to win than the number of people who took at least some small pleasure in seeing her lose. People repeated the line, "The future is female," enough times that she actually believes it, even though all that means to her is, "I will control the world, my pretties, and your little pussies too." Here's what I want to say to the feminists of the world, to the entitled gullible tattletales of the 21st century, to the perpetual teachers' pets of the Democratic Party, who think they can just keep up the act during the Trump administration. The jig is up and you've lost. You couldn't even keep your own message consistent in terms of slyly gunning for female supremacy. I mean, seriously, what's the common feminist logic? That women are superior to men because non-binary. If half of you won't even admit that you are a woman, I am finding it rather unlikely that the future, an abstract concept based around humans' perception of time, is actually going to have a gender. I think there's room for all genders in the future personally, and please don't make me count them. One of the worst parts about all of this is that there's a small number of dudes who are apparently such self-hating cucks that they've even actually repeated this absolutely moronic slogan, and even worn t-shirts like this pathetic piece of human cum fart. The sad thing is that he could actually be pretty cute if it weren't for the shirt. Anybody got scissors? But even more than the semi-cute guys with mustaches who have succumbed to parroting this ridiculous statement, the worst people of the bunch affected by this gigantic cultural cultish brainwashing campaign is obviously the trans trenders. I feel for them, because I've known them, and although they are generally assholes, these people end up miserable. They create a reality where they will only be friends with people who use their preferred pronouns, which means they're usually just hanging out with each other. And then they all live triggeredly ever after. Worse, some of them actually learn what to tell a medical professional to get hormones and surgeries, and they end up at least partially transitioning. I think that they have this idea that because the future is supposed to be female, once they stop being a dude, they are going to live in a magical utopia where nobody wants to talk about sports or leave the toilet seat up. Unfortunately, even if they get their way, transgender suicide rates are super high for various reasons, and I can't help but worry that those suicide rates will go up even further as a result of people recently transitioning who never had gender dysphoria to begin with, but transitioned because they have male guilt or seemingly the desire to milk victimhood points for all that they are worth for all eternity. These types of people are never happy even when they do get what they thought they wanted. Even more so, once people transition, a lot of feminists also hate trans people. Most feminists will pretend for a while to be completely fine with trans people, but they will turf out and go completely exclusionary if trans people refuse to be used to advance the cisgender feminists' agenda. A trans woman is only good to a feminist as long as she is following orders, and they do the same thing to gay guys who they basically officially hate now. Finally, If the future is female and that future is Hillary Clinton's twisted fourth wave version of feminism, and they did get what they wanted, wouldn't it just be some weird Islamic government type of thing anyway? One of the main organizers of the Women's March is Islamic and supports Sharia law, if not at least being sympathetic to it. Sharia law means that you can get stoned to death after being raped if you don't get 4 men to testify on your behalf, claiming that you weren't just being a whorish adulterer. Under Sharia law, you can legally be raped and beaten by your husband, and you certainly don't get to go on slut walks. No, the future isn't female. The future is what we make of it, and it isn't a sexually dimorphic species at all. And let me tell you one thing. If you want to have any successful place in the future, you're gonna want to stop with the narcissistic, delusional, entitled feminist bullshit, because everybody is tired of it, and this won't end well for you if you keep it up. No, that's not a threat, in case we have any victims in the audience. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Drop me a comment and stay tuned.